Hi, I'm Annie,
I'm Colin.
I'm Johnny.
I'm Maddie.
and this
And this?
And this
And this
is
is Melvin Do.
Melvin do?
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for coming back. This is actually, Melissa, I didn't even tell you, this is our first time actually putting out a video with it. This is our little face reveal.
Face reveal.
Face reveal.
Okay, today we have a very special guest all the way from New Zealand. Oh, she's so far away. We love it. And she has a really cute dog she just showed us. Melissa, if you want to introduce yourself, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Melissa Mills, based in New Zealand. I'm so excited and honored to get the opportunity to be with all of you. And so thank you so much for having me here. Looking at your faces, your beautiful smiles, I feel this is going to be such a super delicious conversation, and it's going to be fun. I want you guys to know that the work that I do is really bringing in the element of joy and love with mediumship. So I work as a medium and soulful alignment mentor. And so what that means is, as a medium, I connect to those on the other side. Now, you may call that heaven, you might call that the spirit world, the afterlife, nirvana, whatever goes. It's like tomato, tomato. And I also work as a soulful alignment mentor, which means that I want to help you live your best life and help you to actually co-create that, rather than it just being in your mind and you think it's for a selected few people who can actually experience it. So I have been doing this kind of work since 2012. And so, yeah, I was part of that wave of light workers that started in that very pinnacle time of humanity. And before that, I was actually a primary school teacher. So I kind of, I call it like I came out of the closet and here I am. Wow, completely different. And I've been so privileged to travel the world and meet incredible people. And I also do live events. I have online events for those who can't connect with me. I do all sorts, and I'm really excited because I've also created my own mediumship cards, which I will use with you guys, which is with my brand called Whispers from Above, which is my live events. And so I can't wait to see for all of us what the global message will be. So thank you for having me, and I can't wait to see what we chat about.
No, thank you for
this is so exciting.
I'm so excited. I'm also, I know you said it's not scary, but I am scared. I don't know why.
Oh my goodness. So I'm honestly, I started when I was 25 and I'm now 33. And back then there was no one my age doing this. Like the Tyler Henrys and all of those kinds of people hadn't come out yet. I mean, I'm sure they were born, but they hadn't come out in the public. And so literally I had no one in there. I still think I'm still young, but that was
no, you are.
that was doing this stuff. I mean, most people are like 40, 60, 70 onwards with like a crystal ball. So I seriously, you will see, like, I am all about the big earrings, the stilettos, like I eat normal things. Yeah, I don't actually have a crystal ball. I love having a glass of wine, like I'm just your normal average kind of girl. I also have 3 kids, and a puppy. So nothing scary at all. I don't believe in making this a taboo subject. Like, it kind of gets a bad rep. I think people think paranormal activity, like when you come and see me, things are going to move. And I'm like, that would freak the bejesus out of me too. So honestly,
your
it's just
connection
like
with the spirit world has been mostly positive?
Very positive. Yeah.
Okay.
It honestly is like sitting down and having a cup of coffee. And what you've got to remember is they're your loved ones. So it's like we're connecting to grandma, or we're connecting to dad, or we're connecting to the dog. It's no one that is like, the serial killer from the county or something. I mean, I have worked on murder cases, but it's because the victim's family have come to me and asked me to help with the investigations and stuff like that. But otherwise, they're just your loved ones who want to love up on you.
Wow. How do those cases go? How do the cases go when you have to work with like the police department, is it any different?
Yeah, like
Very different. Yeah. I don't know how it is where you guys are, but of course in New Zealand, it is still not applicable in the court of law to be like, hey, the medium said that it's this person with this tattoo or whatever, right? So
America won't allow that either.
no, I hope that it will be something that will happen eventually, but I do know that in America, detectives are a lot more open to working with mediums than they probably are in New Zealand. I think we're still a little bit behind with our mentality around this work, but working on murder cases is in some ways a huge honor for me because it's something that requires a lot of empathy, especially for the family. And these people are coming at you because they know that something isn't right from what the police have gathered up. And a lot of the times it's a suspected suicide, but it's not. And I can literally, when I connect with the victim, get details. And sometimes I get to work with actual evidence from the police that they have in, I don't know, the storage space. And so that's called working with residual energy. So I can hold the jumper and really kind of get a picture in my mind of the scene and what was happening. I can't say that it's necessarily my favorite thing to do because it's very gruesome. You're talking about things that sometimes scar you in your mind because, a murder isn't just like, bam, done. A lot of these murders are things that have gone, behind the scenes and very brutal. So it does take a lot out of you to work on cases like this. But I find it's so rewarding and a huge honor.
Wow. That's amazing.
It's crazy, man.
That
I
is
didn't even think about stuff like that.
I know. I was gonna say like that. It sounds like just as a career, like it'd be so. I don't want to say like emotionally taxing, but just draining, like you said. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
anybody who's working that closely with people, but then like connecting on something that's so emotional, like it's probably. I can't imagine.
And then like also
Yeah, no,
dealing with,
I
like,
couldn't.
The corporate
like
Yeah.
skepticism and stuff like that. Dealing with all that has got to be like also taxing. So it's like,
Yeah.
have you dealt with skeptics before?
Oh, of course. I still do. Not as much anymore because I really don't believe that my role is to convince anybody. So, for example, if any of you don't believe in what I do, I don't care. You can believe it in it or not. That's not my role. My role is to assist in bridging the two worlds and bringing them together. So I have this little tagline that I say is mediumship is the beautiful co-creation of the two worlds united as one. And of course, you're going to have people who are skeptic because you're working with something that is non-tangible. I can't necessarily prove to you that I saw your dad with his car, even though I can describe it to you. You're like, how does she know this? Like, I can't put you in my brain and show you what I've just been shown, right? So the human mind tries to protect us because that is what the human mind likes to do. It likes to make sure that we're protected from danger. And because working with any realm that is beyond this earth, whether you're working with angels or whether you're working with, I don't know, other entities, galactic energies, whatever it might be, it is
Johnny
not
right now.
tangible. Yeah, like where Johnny is right now.
galactic
Yeah, you're so galactic. It's non-tangible. So even when, for example, you're at home and you see a flash of light and you're like, oh, I wonder if that's my mom, right? And you're
Money
like,
had a flash
no,
of
it can't
light.
be. Yeah.
Weird.
Right? You'll be like,
Best.
yeah, you'll be like, that can't be it, because your logical mind, your human part of your brain tries to take over and goes, I need to protect you. So of course skepticism comes with the territory. However, I call myself an evidential medium, which means that when you come to one of my shows or you come and have a session with me, you're pretty much, not left wondering, was that, my person? You know that it is, because there's definitely people who stand out there and can read body language, or I don't even know how they do that. Like, how can
Yeah.
you read somebody's body language and go, oh, I've got their mum who passed 5 years
Right.
ago? I don't know.
We like,
Right. But there are people who do make a mockery of this. And this
Oh,
is
yeah.
why, for me, it's really important that we have ethics. And I don't walk around the supermarket and go, oh, I have your dad here and he wants to say hello. Like, I have to have permission from the person to read their energy. And so, I mean, yeah, I don't really care so much about the skeptics anymore. I had an astrology reading a few years ago because I was like, oh, I wonder what my
what
astrology
is
is.
it?
Yeah. And she was gobsmacked and said, you know, I have read for many psychics and mediums before, but no one's chart has ever been like yours. And she said, no matter what you try and do, you are born to be a medium. You are here to be a
Wow.
channel. You're here to teach humanity about all of this. And I was like, great. So no matter like
All
what I
right.
do,
Okay.
yeah,
That's
I'm like,
awesome.
I'm like, can't I just be normal and work in like, you know, a clothing store? Can't that be my, you know, gig? But so, yeah, I have tried doing different things, you know, as you do, and none of it ever works. But when I do my mediumship, that's really where I thrive.
Yeah,
That's
that's
Wow.
awesome. Got your calling. It's amazing. And it's a
Yeah.
cool one too.
yeah.
I wish I had something that cool.
Well, you know, for next lifetime, Johnny, you can decide, hey, maybe I want to do something a little bit more. But you know what? You guys are channelers in a sense as well, because you're bringing people on a platform and creating those opportunities for discussions. And so I fully believe that, yeah, you guys are. And every single person is a medium. And that's the thing I want to dismiss. What's the word? I can never quite say it. Demystify that, because
Demystify.
yeah, because everyone thinks, oh, mediums are like really special people and it's a skill and it's such a gift. I'm like, no, it's not. Every single person is a medium, and the gift is mediumship. The fact that we can connect to the other side, that's the gift. The
So you're
whole
saying
being
if I tried to get into it, I could?
yeah, definitely. Absolutely. In every single person, because as long as you've got a breath, right? You are in a human body, but what you've got to remember is that you also have a soul, and that's what we're connecting to. We are using our soul, and everybody has an aspect of intuition. Like, you know, when
Yeah.
somebody's going to call, or you just know that you need to go this way, or you had a dream and then it comes true. You know, we all have those things. And there's no difference between the skills you use in your intuition to mediumship. The only cool thing is, with mediumship, you work with two different senses that you don't get to work with in intuition. And that's also the added sense of smell and the added sense of taste. So some of us, sometimes, if we have a loved one who was a smoker, we might
That happens
just all
to
of a sudden,
me.
yeah. So that's
Oh
called
my God.
consent, right? And you just get a whiff of it, just like for a few seconds, you smell cigarette smoke, but there's no one around smoking, or
I'm
maybe
in
your
my room, like, I don't smoke.
yeah, you're like, oh my God, right?
Who's here?
You guys might feel some energy, because it's just like, you might feel like some activity going on where you are, but I promise you that it's no bad juju. I don't align with anything that is of the dark. I'm all about the light. And light and love. You see me. I call my brand, you know, Rise with Love as well. So it's all about embodying that. But maybe your grandmother loved jasmine, and so you smell jasmine. Or maybe you had an aunt who was this amazing baker and won a competition with a pecan pie, and all of a sudden you get the taste of the pecan pie in your mouth, but you haven't even had pecan pie. So we get these little nudges, and that's just our body's way of interpreting energy.
My aunt, actually, her parents both passed away this year, and she was saying that every now and then she's been smelling
Oh my gosh.
the perfume of her mom.
Yeah,
But it's
and
like
that's how
random.
it works. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, most people are like, oh, I can't do this because I can't see. I'm like, dude, my clairvoyance is so crap. Like, this is really not that good. Like,
So is mine.
yeah. I'm like, I predominantly hear. So I hear voices or thoughts or sounds, or so that's called clairaudience. And so for some people, they're like, but you know, everyone else sees and I don't. I'm like, dude, you have like 5 other senses in which your body is interpreting energy. And I always say, start with what your learning style is. If you're a visual, you might see more symbols, like seeing the number 444 all the time, or maybe
That's me.
Yeah, that's you. You're
I
a visual.
always think 618. I don't know what it means. The number 618 is everywhere.
You know, you might feel something, like you might all of a sudden walk and you feel like something's touched you, or
That happens
maybe
to me.
your side, one of your sides get really hot or cold.
That happens to me.
Yeah, right.
Monty's like,
Everything
hold
happens
up.
to Monty.
Everything
I had the
happens
light
to you in
pass
my
through her,
life.
that's why.
She's like, I'm a medium in disguise. But you know,
I'm scared.
so that's called clairsentience. So that's the sense of feeling. And like me, clairaudience, you, so if you're quite a audio learner, you might potentially be more clairaudient, which means that you hear things. Now, I want to just clarify that that's not schizophrenia. Like, I don't just hear like random voices in my mind. It is literally only when I'm working. And so I have very strong boundaries. Like if I'm not working, I like, don't come and bother me. Let me be human and do my human
And do
things,
my
watch
stuff.
my Netflix and, you know,
Human
whatever.
stuff to do.
Yeah, be a mom and do all that kind of stuff.
That's
But
really interesting. 'Cause
yeah,
I was going to ask about like when it comes to the 5 senses and what exactly you're able to use when connecting with the other side, and if it's something you kind of have to focus on or something that can just happen.
So
Yeah.
all of us, it will happen in some ways naturally. Like there is no way you can live your life and not have some form of experience, whether you're in denial or not. We all have that gut instinct, and however it works for us. Maybe it's like you have a dream and you're seeing dolphins everywhere and they're in your dream, and then you go and meet people and you're like, the person you meet, the love of your life, has got a dolphin tattoo, and then you go to the cafe and then, you know, that's where a big business meeting happens and there's a dolphin painting. So some of it will just happen naturally and we don't realize that that's how it's working. We all naturally have them. We just don't realize we're using them. And all of the time, you know, you might be thinking about a friend and then that friend rings you, right? That happens.
See, okay, this is like, I know Colin too. Like Colin and I, we've known each other since eighth grade.
8 years now.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know what 8th grade is, but
Oh, I forgot.
is that primary school? Is that like
No, that's
It's
whatever.
like-
We don't know either.
Okay.
It's middle school.
We were,
but
how old were
like-
we? 15,
We were like
14?
It's secondary school.
so high school for me, right?
okay.
Okay.
College.
Sorry.
We call it
We
college.
also have high school.
We're very ignorant Americans.
Yeah. Welcome to America.
You're all
we know
good.
nothing.
You're all good.
We know nothing about anywhere else.
We know nothing.
So Colin and I have known each other for so long, and we have just ongoing, like since we met each other, the strangest coincidences. Like we would text each other just something like random that popped into our heads, and it would be like what the other person is doing, but without knowing it, like that kind of stuff.
So the
Sorry.
two of you probably have a past life connection. So I don't know how open you guys are, but I totally believe that it would suck if this was the only time you got to do life. Like, what if you died
Oh,
at
yeah.
5?
Yeah,
Like,
I
it would
don't think about
totally suck.
it.
You know, so I work with people through their past lives, their future lives. I can even tap into what you'll be in your future life. I can tap into what you are on other planets. If you're, you know, I do all sorts. It's pretty amazing. So past lives are really significant because that is where a lot of your blocks might come from, a lot of the connections that you're here to experience. So you know how you just, let's use romantic relationships, for example. You know, you meet someone and you're like, oh my God, I feel like I've been with you before. We've all hopefully had that, right? So we've had a
With
past
all
life
three of the
connection.
people here.
Yeah, I know.
Right? Or with you and Colin, for example, you most likely, I feel you've been siblings before in a past
gonna
life,
cry.
but siblings who were actually torn apart because I feel you guys became orphans. And so you did manage. Let me tell the story. So
Oh,
what
go
I
for
see
it.
I'm
is
ready.
that you were torn apart. So you got, I feel like one of you went to like the girls' horrible place, like with other girl orphans, and then I feel your roles were reversed. So for argument's sake, if you're the girl now, you were the boy then. Okay. So,
Okay.
and then the boy was sent to a family. What happened is, so that would be you, I feel, Annie, you would have been like, you know, the boy in that lifetime, and Colin, you would have been the girl.
That makes sense.
Makes
Um,
sense.
That's still
Now,
how it is.
Annie, as the boy, you did everything to find your sister once again. And in adults, you did manage to reconnect. And of course, Annie, you played the role of being the protector and the savior. And I feel this lifetime, you're kind of repeating that again. You're very much taking Colin under your wing, making sure he's all right, because you have the sense of responsibility.
You
And
like
so
crying.
I
yeah,
know.
I mean, so now this is a karmic relationship, and potentially this lifetime, what you've decided is we're not going to have the same parents, but we are going to meet up again
Oh,
and rebuild on this relationship without the trauma that came with being torn apart. So stuff like this is so common. And you know, you might be living a life and you're like, I don't know why, but I hate the name James, right? I hope no one's called James here, but you might be like,
My
I
middle name's
hate the
James.
name James. And it could be because a James murdered you, right, in your past life.
Wait, Melissa,
Or-
Melissa. Colin's middle name is Jane.
Oh, is it? Let's
Yeah, but
hope,
I don't
James.
like
You know,
you.
you're like, I
Never
hate you.
heard.
But let's say, for example, you hate Brussels sprouts, right? And you're just like, I don't know
Okay.
why, but the smell of Brussels sprouts just makes me want to vomit and die. And it's because maybe you died eating Brussels sprouts. You know, like this stuff might sound
Bro,
really kind of corny.
I died eating a lizard.
Oh.
You would probably, oh my gosh, so I have to share this. I have this absolute phobia of birds. Like, if anyone knows me, they
Valid.
know how petrified I am of
Valid.
birds, right? And it's not the feathers, it's the beaks. And that's because in a
Yes.
past life, I was really naughty and I was hung, but I was like mostly dead, but like still semi alive, but not to the point where I was necessarily like consciously
No.
showing that I was alive. And the vultures picked at me, right? So this is why I have this phobia of birds. And I mean, I can do
So
little
sorry.
budgies, but I can't do pigeons or chickens or ducks or, oh my gosh, like if there was like a pelican or something, I'd probably like have a heart attack. But
That's just what
Yeah.
pelicans do.
we don't have pelicans in New Zealand, thank goodness. I think it's in Australia. But yeah, so our past lives do play a significant role in the relationships that we have, but also our fears and potentially some of the, you know, some people say, I'm so cursed. I'm always cursed. You know, bad things always happen to me. And, you know, it's like, it's not. You just have a lot of past life healing that you need to just work through. And so my work, like I said, is very varied and I love doing all of it. Otherwise, I wouldn't
Oh
be
my
doing it.
God. I have a theory. Since we're getting dark, I think I got a lobotomy in a past life.
Oh, right.
Man, you
Cannot-
got it in this one too.
I'm headed in that direction.
I'm
cannot-
sure you probably have if you feel so. But, you know, I really also believe we've had to be different combinations, right? So at some point, all of us have been a baddie. All of us have been like someone who committed fraud or someone who was a slave or something. Like, I really believe
Definitely
we have
killed
to.
someone.
Yeah,
Who's
I
this
think I
girl?
probably
I
did
know.
too. I'm like, oh, I was so naughty.
Oops.
But you know, so that our soul learns to go through its evolution, and then we have this greater sense of purpose, right? And that's what I love about working with those on the afterlife, is that they help us to either bring this purpose to the surface or they become the reason for our purpose. And so it's just amazing once you kind of delve into all of this, when you start to awaken to the fact that we are just so much more than being body, right? I mean, wouldn't it just be boring if this is all we did?
Right.
And I just love it that we can tap into it. And I don't think in my lifetime here as Melissa that I'll even scratch the surface of all of what is possible.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, my gosh.
We love having you here. You're so
I
good.
know, good.
Thank you.
So do you ever have, I guess, like pets, but like, do you have animals come through?
Yeah, so animals is quite a fun one, and most people tend to cry more when you bring through their pets than you do like their family members, right? Always. This is one of my perfect, examples that I love using. I was doing a show and I brought through this horse, and I was like, I've never brought through a horse before.
No.
Right?
Bring in the horse.
And yeah, from what I can remember, it was like this was a male horse and it really hated its girl name. It was like I had a girl name and I hated it. And and no one could take the horse at the time. And then after I'd finished the show, someone came up to me and went, I think that was my friend's horse that came through because it was a male horse. I think it was brown with a black tail, like I got really specific with what the horse looked like. And she's like, and its name was Barbie. And I was like, yeah, this is most likely your friend's horse because that's a really girly name, right?
Or Barbie the horse.
Yeah, Barbie the horse. Can you
No,
imagine? The horse is probably like, man, you are man shaming me with this horsey girly name.
Exactly.
I have connected with someone booked me once for a session connecting to their bird, and I was like, oh my gosh, my worst nightmare. But it was a really beautiful bird. It was like a parrot, and they just had the most incredible connection, and I was able to just put my phobia aside, connecting with them. With the beautiful bird. Of course, many dogs and cats, and sometimes I've connected with goats. People have pet goats or random pets. But yeah, a lot of the time with animals, just in case you want to know, they don't talk to me necessarily in like human language.
That was going to be my question.
Yeah, I can already tell that was your question. So the answer to that is I usually work with my clairsentience, which is the sense of feeling or the sense of sight. So it's like a little movie reel might happen in my mind. And do you have a cat? Do you have a cat in the afterlife?
Not in the afterlife. No, not me.
Who's got the
She
cat?
just has an
I
actual
have a
cat.
cat. Here.
No, that's okay. Someone's got a cat in the afterlife that's wanting to come and say hello. It's a black and white cat. If anyone wants to claim the cat, a family pet back in the day. But I often get them saying thank you for like if they were put down because that's something that a lot of people feel really guilty about, and that's usually something that they just want to thank us for because we're putting them out of the misery. So yeah, pets is fun. Someone's definitely got a cat, a black and white cat.
Okay, so there's actually a black and a white cat that walks around the front of my house named Honey, but we haven't seen him in forever.
Oh, I hope that's not Honey.
But he was a stray cat and we always fed him, so maybe he's just saying thank you.
Oh, maybe. I hope it's
I
not.
hope he's
I hope
okay,
Honey
but
is
if he's
still
not, then-
alive.
I really
if
hope
it-
he's still okay.
Oh, I hope so too. But if it is Honey is fine. Very cute.
That's good at least.
Honey
I hope
died
it's
of-
not Honey.
I really hope it's not Honey.
R.I.P. honey.
Aw.
Sorry I had to find out this way, Johnny.
Aw.
It's a good way. It's a good way.
I have a question. I know you said you primarily deal with the light side of
Mhm.
the spectrum, I guess. But have you ever gotten something from someone that you could tell was very malicious and a very dark soul?
Yeah. So recently I had a friend who kind of helped me through some stuff. So a few weeks ago, I was at the point where I had this really bad headache, and I knew that it was energetic and I knew that it wasn't a physical symptom, and I could hardly move my head. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is going on? And I, messaged my friend. We were supposed to catch up, and I'm like, I can hardly move. I'm like paralyzed. And she was like, oh my gosh, I need to come and like sort you out right now. And she came and she did the session, and we went into, I'm not sure quite where, some realms, and she removed 8 demons out of me. So when I say work with the light, I'm really not saying that the dark does not exist, because light cannot exist without darkness.
Without dark.
Just the same as darkness cannot coexist without light. So I felt instantly better as soon as she like removed these demons, and they were demons that had followed me from past lives and demons that I'd received this lifetime, and also that people had sent to me. So through interactions that I've had with people, of course, I'm in the public eye. So, you know, sometimes people can be envious of what I do. They might really hate what I do. And so, yeah, I do get bad juju sent to me. And so I have to keep my energy really clear. And that's why, you know, I work a lot with clearing my energies, working with healers and that kind of stuff. I do
Money
have
sends
one
you demons on the daily.
No. These are like, they were sucking the life force out of me. They'd attached to my spine and they were starting to move like to my brain. They'd like slowly creeped up. Luckily, I was able to know that the stuff kind of, you know, exists in things. But I do have one experience that scared me so much, and maybe people can relate. I was with an ex-boyfriend at the time, and
Girl.
his sister,
We can relate. We can relate.
yeah, we can all relate. And his sister had come over from England, and we were lying in bed one day, and all of a sudden I felt like this really creepy energy into the room, and I was so scared. Like, it was so dark, it was so heavy. I could tell that this person had come from England, was a serial killer, and was trying to attack me. So the energy was pushing me down, and it was trying to suffocate me, and I was like screaming, but I could not scream. And my boyfriend at the time was like looking, going, what the hell do I do? Like, he could see it happening. It was really, really scary. I don't quite know, because it's all kind of fuzzy, but I know that I managed to free myself from that and clear the energy away. It did try and keep hanging around and visit me in my dreams and what have you, but my team, my spiritual team, they're pretty good at clearing things away. And so that was like the most scariest thing I've ever experienced. Yeah. And I hear stories of people being in hotel rooms and feeling entities, or you hear stories all the time of being people being pushed down and not being able to scream. And so I really want to say the dark side exists. Black magic is real. You know, all of that stuff is real. You know, there are definitely energies, you know, extraterrestrial energies and things like that in the world. You know, if you are into this kind of stuff, I highly recommend reading Stardust Ranch is an amazing book. If you guys have read that or heard of it. That's in, I think, Arizona, with all the grays and the stuff that happens over there. It's like we're Area 51. Is it Area 51?
Okay, yeah, Area 51.
Kind of like that kind of
Nevada, right?
that kind of. So, you know, there is darkness. However, we just don't want to try and like play with that juju.
Yeah,
it is
no
not
provoking.
good juju. We want to try and work with the light. So definitely I've experienced
Not
it.
good juju.
And yeah, it's not good juju. I mean, I'm not someone who would ever do Ouija boards and things like that. Because
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you have, I would just say go and get yourself sorted with a healer, because there's definitely different energies, and you're more susceptible to working or attracting energies like this when you are in a lower vibration. So if you're someone that's constantly depressed, or if you're someone who's heavily into substances that change your energy, so hallucinogenic drugs and alcohol and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. If you're someone who's really suicidal, which was me, I battled with that for a long time, then you're more susceptible to attracting that kind of stuff, right? But if you're someone who's, you know, your average Joe, just doing life, you should be totally fine. So, but you may just go
No, that's
somewhere.
none of us.
Well,
You may go somewhere where you feel that, you know, this energy doesn't quite feel right. And you just got to trust your gut instinct to just go the hell out.
I feel that way in Hobby Lobby, but also you probably don't have Hobby Lobby. I keep forgetting you're not.
No, I don't know what that is.
It's your craft store that's like homophobic, but whatever.
We love to see it.
I keep laughing when you say like good juju and bad juju, because Johnny and I always talk about this. my dog that like just died, her name was Juju. Her name was Jewel, but we called
Aw.
her Juju. So every time like Johnny and I always make jokes about like bad juju and how like whenever
it's
bad juju
her being
happens,
bad.
it's her energy like trying to like screw with us all.
And the fact that you brought it up
Aw.
so many times, we keep looking at each other like it's bad juju, it's bad juju.
Oh no, Juju, I'm sure is lovely.
I also just realized Moana's a medium from
Moana?
the Disney movie.
Oh,
Moana! She talked to her
Moana.
grandma.
Oh, that's
Okay.
right. I forgot she connects to her grandma in that movie. Spoiler alert.
Moana, yes, she is. Are you talking about the movie, the cartoon?
Yeah, the Disney princess girl.
Oh yes, but
New
a lot
princess,
of
like,
I
4
think
years
she's
old.
based in Hawaii, right? So, New Zealand culture and Hawaiian culture is very similar. A lot of their gods are
Oh,
the same as the
wow.
Maori
Wow.
gods as well. So, Maori people in New Zealand are very connected to the earth and the afterlife. You know, something that they celebrate. So when you mention Moana, of course, Hawaiians have Hawaiian people. What do you call them? Like
Hawaiian.
they are very connected to their gods and the earth elements
Yeah.
and the spirits. And so my favorite Disney to kind of represent that is Coco. If anyone has seen Coco, that is, I just love that because it just shows an aspect of the spirit world and kind of allows children to see, hey, maybe it's not so bad and we can reconnect. And so I love Coco.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the
Coco too,
concept
girl.
of like you're not gone if you're remembered, because it's true. Like if you left a mark, then you're never really gone.
Stop,
Yeah,
Johnny.
yeah.
is
Johnny's
our
like all
sweetest
philosophical
I
today.
know he's in
He's in
space. He's like,
space.
and if you're forgotten,
And if
You
you're
are-
forgotten, well, you're just gone. Oh no, look. The lighting
Make
made
sure
me
you do
like glob
something.
over. I
Oh,
had a
indeed.
question, but you kind of knocked it out of the park. I was gonna
Yeah,
ask,
she-
what things you kind of bring over from past lives, but you kind of answered that.
Oh, I
So
love it. You know, with you though, Johnny, I feel like in a past life, you very much walked with who's the guy that painted the Sistine Chapel? Oh, who was that guy?
Wait,
Michelangelo. Michelangelo.
Michelangelo.
Yeah, right.
You know I'm an artist.
Are you really? No, I don't know anything about you.
I figure you don't know anything about me. We've never
I
met, but I'm
actually
an
don't.
artist.
I've only just been talking with Annie, but I do feel his energy working with you, and you actually were part, because I don't feel he painted that all by himself, and I feel
No,
you
he
actually
didn't.
helped with the painting of the Sistine Chapel and other places which might not be as known that were done by Michelangelo. And so you have this real strong past life, and potentially that's why you've brought it into this lifetime, but he works along with you as well. And I
love
feel
him.
like your art is very like provoking. I mean, I don't know, I haven't seen any of your art, but it feels it's very emotionally provoking and makes the person think and go, oh, I wonder what that person was thinking, or what am I
I
now
have a new favorite
thinking, or-
Ninja Turtle. I love that. Oh my God. I feel like,
yeah.
whew,
Do you feel special? I feel you should feel
I
really
do.
special.
I
I'm
feel
like,
amazing.
Yes.
every time she talks
I'm
about
a
past
little bit
lives, I'm like
jealous.
crying.
Everyone's been red, man.
But yeah,
Ouch.
Johnny, I feel like you have quite an important mission here in making people go deeper in their journey, and your art can help with that. Just like Michelangelo at the time provoked the what could be done, and it's the same with you. Like, try using different modalities, and
Yeah.
I'm not
Oh
an
my God.
artist.
I'm not
so
even
I
gonna
don't
lie to
know.
you. This is like making me, I've been like
You needed
feeling
this.
weird with
I'm
art
literally
lately, and I just,
crying.
You needed
I
this.
really genuinely feel like I just need to mix it up. I need to try new stuff and go ham with my art.
Yeah, so connect with Michelangelo to help you with that. And you might actually find that you just go into like a trance per se when you're doing it. Okay. So it's really cool. And
He does
we can
forget
have
everything.
yeah, I can see that in him. You're actually, Johnny, I'm gonna pick on you for a second, but you have a very big purpose here this lifetime, and you've spent many lifetimes working and actually being prosecuted for the stuff that you've done, because I actually feel you were murdered in that lifetime when you were there,
I believe it.
working with Michelangelo. And yeah, and so you've been prosecuted for trying to do things really in a different way because it made people think. And the governments and what have you don't want us to think. They don't want us to have our freedom. And so that's what you've been able to do, is you've helped people to go, wow, maybe I need to like think more or do more or be more. And
I
so
feel this so much.
Yeah. I feel
Wow.
like your purpose this lifetime is massive, and you haven't chosen this lifetime by chance. And I feel like, not putting any pressure on you, bud, but there's huge pressure on your shoulders to really bring this freedom to humanity. And through your art, you'll create conversations that
Guys, I
will,
gotta get to work.
yeah, you got to get to work, hon. All right. You will create those discussions that will make people come out of the matrix, per se.
Oh
Oh
my
my
God, I feel
God.
all powerful right now.
I'm like, I really, every time you start talking about like past life stuff, I'm like trying not to cry.
Yeah, no, that one got me.
Well, if anyone of the listeners or anything like that feels that they want to explore stuff on a deeper level, I take people through what I call the Sacred Soul Journey sessions, and they're amazing. Like I said, I take you through the actual moment of when you were created as a soul, the very first moment from your divine creator. Work through your past lives. Maybe you had a life in Atlantis, whatever it might be. Some of your human lives, some of your, like I said, galactic lives, what you are doing right now for your future lives, and we tap into that. So they're really cool sessions, and I just love them. So you can do them virtually, because I'm guessing, at least you've got people in New Zealand. But let me pick some of the Whispers from Above cards, right?
Yeah.
So we just grab them. So the wonderful thing about these cards is my mum did the artwork. So I'll show you guys, right? She did the artwork.
It's so cute. I love it.
This is a very love project. And if you guys can see that, I know the listeners can't necessarily, if they're listening, see it, but the angel is holding 2 globes. And like I said to you, my tagline is mediumship is the beautiful co-creation of the 2 worlds united as one. So that's why she's holding the 2 globes. And it's completely accidental. My mum did not even know that that's my tagline. So it was just perfect. So these cards are 52 messages that I have passed on at my shows or one-on-one readings that I feel are, able to give you answers or hope or healing or whatever you need. So you can ask a specific loved one, or you could just ask the collective that is watching over you, whatever you want. I'm going to ask that we receive a beautiful collective message for all of us that tune into this episode, what the spirit world wishes to, share with us. So we've got one that's jumped out. I'll pick about 3 or 4. Let's see what we feel.
So excited.
And yeah, let's see what this message is. And what I love is that even kids can use these cards. You can grab them on my website, which is melissamills.co.nz. And it's just so much fun. I absolutely love it. I want to see these cards all around the world. So you guys, maybe Johnny might do the artwork for something one day, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Johnny. We got to hook up. All right. I've pulled 4 cards, and the first one that I've got, and you can see they're so easy to use, pretty self-explanatory. You cannot use them wrong. You can use them every day. And the first one is, dreams are a great way for us to spend time together. All right. So our loved ones visit us a lot when we are sleeping, because we don't actually sleep. Our physical bodies sleep, but our souls don't sleep. So we go into our astral state, and that's where you might receive a lot of wisdom, and you wake up the next day and you're like, wow, I have an inspiration for a business, or I just got this great idea for a painting, or whatever it might be, right? And you will also go and be with your family and friends that are on the other side. Or maybe if you're like a super soldier, if you don't know what a super soldier is, go and Google it. It's so flippin' amazing, right? You might be fighting a galactic battle, like whatever it might be. Yeah. So there's so many cool things. You're like, I want to be a super soldier. I actually, I love it. My job is, there's never a boring day in the office. But what our loved ones are encouraging us is set the intention, right? For example, with you, Annie, if you want to connect with Juju, you say, at nighttime before you go to sleep, say, Juju, come and visit me in my dreams. And I actually feel like Juju is actually on the our foot of the bed anyway, kind of hops on and just cuddles in there. So you're all good. It's there anyway. So, and you might feel that it's quite a clear sentient feeling when you feel the energy.
I feel that a lot.
Wait. Actually, that's weird. Because like more recently, that has been happening where I feel like someone's like I think it's my cat, and then I look and my cat's not there.
Yeah, that's what it is. So it's just juju, okay?
Okay.
Now, it's so much fun. Now we have stop questioning why as I am exactly where I need to be. So this is the Northern Lights. So my mom, like I said, did the artwork and she loves the Northern Lights. So with this card, what it's saying to us is sometimes we're like, why did this have to happen? Why did they have to pass in that way? Why can't they be with me? Life is so unfair, blah, 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 right? And what your loved ones want you to know is that there is a reason greater than what you could potentially understand as to why they are in the spirit world, because their mission or our soul's purpose does not cease to exist because we're not in a physical body. We still very much have things that we need to do when we are on the other side. And so, especially for loved ones that are there right now, they're on a very big mission. Our world right now is in crisis mode. No matter where on the side of the spectrum you are, we are in crisis. And so we need to anchor and we need to bring in so much more love into our world as we move into the 5D ascension, which is the wonderful energy that we're moving into, which is all about oneness and compassion and abundance. And we're going to see some amazing things happening for humanity, but we just got to have it all crumble, right? But our loved ones in spirit are helping us to bring the love. So the question isn't why, it's what can I now do to assist on their next part of the journey? Now, I love this one. This was a picture and I was like, we have to have a fairy. So this is a cute little ballerina fairy. I love this one. And it says, yes, I send you signs, and it's a beautiful way for us to connect together once more. So, you know, some typical signs are butterflies, rainbows, coins, feathers, flashing lights, songs coming on that, you know, when you're at the supermarket, whatever it might be. Now, what I want to say is don't underestimate what it took for you to get that sign. Okay. Like we are talking with an energy that is no longer physical, having to do and bring something into the physical existence or manifestation. So even if it's a penny, I don't know if we don't have pennies, but I think you guys have pennies.
Yeah, we
right?
have pennies.
So even if it's a penny and you're like, I wish it was $100 bill, you know, don't underestimate how much energy it took for that penny to be on that path at that moment that you are there. So our loved ones are sending us signs all the time. Our pets in the spirit world, they're sending us signs all the time. A lot of the energy with pets is quite bouncy. I like to call it, it's, you know, like, I don't know how else to describe that, but it's quite bouncy. So it's like fun and fluffy and you know, you'll know they're there. Now, the last card that I've picked is meditate and come visit me through the Golden Gate Sanctuary. So I think it was Colin asked about how do we, you know, use our senses. So one of the things is meditation, and I have created a meditation that takes you through this process to actually meet your loved ones. It's something that I do at my shows, and I take people through this beautiful meditation through the Golden Gate, where once you're through the Golden Gate, your loved ones are there and you can have whatever experience you need to have. And so we can literally connect with our loved ones whenever we want. If I can give you one message is, you can't over connect with them, okay? That you're not going to bother them. You're not going to like disrupt them from their very important missions. When we're no longer in a physical body, we can occupy many different realms at the same existence. And don't go thinking, oh, but if I connect with them, then mom can't connect with that person. It's like they can be with whoever at the same time. I don't know how, but it's because we're not in a physical body. Like if we want to go somewhere, we actually have to move. But when we're energy, it's like when you turn on the light switch, how did the electricity like get there? I mean, I don't know. So it's the same kind of principle. So I hope that, you know, or everyone listening gets to experience the beautiful connections that our loved ones can create for us and helping us to co-create our best lives. Because I don't feel we were given the gift of mediumship just because. I really believe it's so that we can make something out of our lives with their help, with their assistance, whether it be, I wish I'd done this with my life, you go and do it, or whether it be, you know what, don't lose sight of who you are and what you're truly made of, whatever it is, helping us through the grief so that we don't feel we have to wear black and be miserable for the rest of our lives, so that's my jam.
That's amazing.
Oh,
Oh,
thank you so
God.
much.
Yeah, this is so amazing. Thank you so much for coming on.
You are so welcome.
Yeah, we're
I
like
feel
over the moon.
like I want to connect more.
Oh, well, you can find me. Here you go. Right. So I'm on social media platforms, Facebook and Instagram. Look me up, Melissa Mills. It's either Melissa Mills NZ or just Melissa Mills. You'll find my, my face. And like I said, my website is melissamills.co.nz. And yeah, I can't wait to somehow, the universe has brought us together for a reason. So let's see where it leads,
I
right?
know, yeah. I'll put all of your links like in the show description, and on YouTube it'll be down below so everybody can find you. Yeah, I'm so happy that you came on and were able to talk to us. I know we kept you for like a long time, so sorry.
Oh, it's
but
all right. I love
I could
talking, so
talk
you
to
can
you
keep me
for,
on
like-
it. Yeah, you can talk to me as long as you want. But I also want to say my hashtag for anyone who is wanting to help in this mission is making mediumship the norm. So for me, I want to see this normalized. I want this to be a normal conversation, because so many people, when they have a loved one transition, they feel alone, and it's because people don't necessarily not want to help you. They just don't know what to say. And that's why I'm like, have a pack of the whispers from above cards and be like, hey, I don't know what to say, but here's a pack of cards for you to connect with your loved one. So that's why created these cards, is to open up the discussion and these conversations.
Yeah, that's amazing. I need to get some of
There
those.
should be
I
so
told
much
you.
taboo around it. It's like we're all only on this earth for a little while. We should
It is such a short time, right? So maximize every
make
single
it feel like
moment.
it's more than it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, guys, I'm just so honored and grateful. Thank you for allowing me to just have such a deep and
Thank
meaningful
you. This is so
conversations and
fun.
reading some of you. Oh my gosh, I hope that was all right.
Oh my God, yeah. I was like, we're like, we hope she says something, but like, we don't want to force her to say anything. You saw me like immediately crying. I was like, if she says anything, I'm done. So yeah, that was really awesome. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much.
And
It's
thank you.
My absolute pleasure.
Yeah, and thank you everyone for listening. Forgot we even have listeners. I'm just
yeah,
like
thank you
enjoying
everyone
the
for listening.
conversation.
I hope you guys learned something.
And we'll see you next
Well, everybody, enjoy and, let your beautiful life unfold, and just remember how incredible you are. You have a purpose, and, let's all embody our true reason for being here and make this world a better place.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you so much.
Uh,
Bye, guys.
Bye everyone.
Bye from New Zealand.
Much.